All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking about real music in real time for a few real people out there, just like you, just like me. Visualize the pointing, as I often say when I do the podcast version of the show. Thanks for tuning in. It kind of seems like Joe Perry is beginning to drift away from Aerosmith. He announced that he'd be doing a tour. And this is after, of course, Aerosmith had to cancel their Vegas residency amidst all kinds of rumors about Steven Tyler's ongoing issues with health. And we're not sure if it is related to the thing, as I like to call it, or if it's just Tyler's ongoing battle with substance abuse, which is really hard to fathom at this stage of his life, but that could be it. I know Joe Perry and Steven Tyler butt heads all the time, even on stage. From time to time, there's some really interesting footage out there from a few years back where they are arguing back and forth, and it kind of looks like Steven Tyler isn't really paying attention to Joe Perry, which I guess is making Joe Perry more frustrated in the clip. I watched that quite a long time ago, and I'm thinking to myself, man, this has got to be just a business relationship at this point. So Joe Perry has decided to go out on the road. He's also got new music coming, and the first single is out there, and it's with the Black Crowes' Chris Robinson. And holy crap, Batman, it's a really good song, and you should probably go listen to it. The song is called Fortunate One. No, it's not a CCR cover. It's an original tune. So he's got quite a list of singers here. He's got Terry Reid. He's got Gary Cherone. He's got Robert DeLeo from STP, because I love STP. So I'm emphasizing that. Robin Zander from Cheap Trick is on a couple of tracks as well. And David Johansen, a.k.a. Buster Poindexter. Of course, he was in the New York Dolls, so all the real rockers are going to mention his stint with the New York Dolls. I tend to like his alter ego, Buster Poindexter, a lot better. I just do. So anyway, Joe Perry has new music to share. The Aerosmith guitarist is dropping his new album. It's called Switzerland Manifesto MK2. And the album, being released digitally and on vinyl, is a companion to Perry's previous release, Switzerland Manifesto 1. It will include 6 new tracks and alternate vocals and mixes. It features guest appearances by all those people I already told you about. He said here, we had so many songs with everything going on with the Vampires, which I believe is another project that he's in, plus Aerosmith and The Thing, and not touring and touring. Not touring and touring. I think that's just one theme that we don't know if we're on, we don't know if we're off, but anyway, he goes on to say, this music kept riding along for me. I tend to think in terms of albums. The first one had a vibe, and MK2 is a little more rocked out. He says, I almost prefer it. He added, it's one of those records I can play from front to back live. So that's interesting. If he goes out there on the road, which I'm thinking he's doing, I think he'll be able to play this music and have a good time out there. I'm thinking his relationship with Steven Tyler is strained all the time. I think those guys realize that their franchise is highly valuable. However, if they can't perform because Steven Tyler just can't go out on stage, then it doesn't really make sense to attempt to book gigs with Aerosmith. That's the way it appears. Plus, you've also got this lawsuit against Steven Tyler, which I think they've moved to dismiss it, or I don't know. It's in progress. I mean, the statute of limitations on the thing is just ridiculous. I mean, this was back in the 70s, and it's just bizarre. This woman who more or less came out of nowhere. And if you're her, you probably were psychologically damaged by all this stuff. But unfortunately, if you look at everything, it appears that he was her guardian. So they actually went through some sort of legal process to make that okay, which there were some really weird things going on in the 70s and 80s with rock stars and groupies and everything. And this just went to an extreme. Speaking of extreme, Gary Sharon is also on this, if I didn't mention it. He's going to be featured on a song called Quake, so you can check that out. Look, folks, I just think Aerosmith might be over. I mean, it might not be over, but it seems like it could be. And I think this is one of those places in time for Joe Perry where I think he just wants to get out there and play some music and get some new stuff out there to people. The song with Chris Robinson is excellent. I mean, if you like the Black Crowes and Aerosmith, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like Aerosmith meets the Black Crowes, which, again, isn't a big stretch. So, yeah, actually, both Robert DeLeo and Chris Robinson are on this particular song called Fortunate One. So check it out. It's out there to listen to. As far as Aerosmith goes, I don't know. If you're a fan of Aerosmith and you're thinking, they're going to show up at a venue near you and everyone's going to be there, I wouldn't hold your breath. That's all I'm saying. All right. So anyway, folks, thanks for listening to my brief little podcast here about Joe Perry. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Patreon for $1 a month, $2 a month, whatever you can afford. Also, YouTube memberships. If you want to help out the channel, that's an easy and effective way to do so. And my name is Dave, and thanks to everyone who's already doing stuff to help the channel. And I will see you all soon.